want to welcome you to another edition of the program, Crossover Decide. Few days till the governorship and state assembly elections in Crossover State. We want to get the opinion of some critical leaders on what they think is the way forward. And I have here with me High Chief Peter Higgins. We want to hear from him briefly about the purported endorsement of the PDP governorship candidate in Crossover State by Peter Obi. And I want to find out what he thinks about that. What effect would that have to the election that is coming up in Crossover State? So, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Beatrice.
All right. So the endorsement by Peter Obi on the Onor, how relevant is that?
Well, when you talk of relevance, I don't know in what context you mean, but if I understand you properly, what effect does it have in our elections? I can tell you for free that it should be taken for granted. Why? Because P2B is nice, a comprehensive, proper gentleman to the core. But I am not very sure P2B knows the dynamics and the sentiment of Crossover State politics. So whatever he said should have been said on the strength of ignorance or innocence. Innocent of the fact that he does not know. Ignorant of the fact that he does not know. Innocence more so that he does not mean any harm. That is, if he said so at all. Because I have not listened to it. Okay? So P2B's endorsement of Onor has no effect at all on our elections. It is a straightforward, simple thing. In Crossover State, we have zoning. And which was why Atiku was fighting, Wike was fighting PDP. That PDP was supposed to zone their presidential ticket to the south, observing zoning. Sure. And it was why P2B himself left PDP and went to run under Labour, because he felt that the ticket of the presidential ticket of PDP should have gone to the south, which is observing zoning. Okay. So I am not confident that P2B would know that that is what is obtainable in Crossover State and will promote it. Something he does not like. He will not. I'm not sure P2B will do that.
All right. So that's interesting. So let's talk about the entire election itself. Let's do an assessment. How ready is APC in Crossover State for this election?
Well, there is only one party that I'm confident that has not just ready in the field, but ready in people's minds. Because every one of us in Crossover State knows that we have a peaceful, seamless movement of power, which is rotation. Sure. So if you ask me which party is ready, I'll tell you it's only APC. Because if PDP were to be ready, they would have brought in a southern candidate. That is a candidate from the south. Sure. We will not say they are ready for elections. But for Onor, coming from the central to run, he is technically disqualified, even in people's minds and morale. Whoever that will vote for Onor knows that he is voting for injustice. So I am not very comfortable or very confident that most people that has conscience will want to vote for Onor, be it in PDP, APC, or whatever. That's why you have the influx of every body of parties and everybody coming to say it is back to South, even in its own party.
Okay, so if you're just joining us, the program is Crossover Decides. We are looking at the permutations in Crossover State ahead of this governorship and state assembly elections. So I want to get your thought also on this endorsement of the All Progressive Congress of the Labour Party candidate for Iyala 1 state constituency. How beneficial is that going to be? Do we have anything to gain by that collaboration?
Well, I wish I were in the position to tell you straightforward, as it is in my mind, that is of no value and of no benefit. Okay. Because there's no Labour Party in the state. Okay. People voted for P2B because of protest. They were protesting against the status quo, not because of Labour Party. And P2B happened to be the beneficiary of that protest of the status quo. You know, in every revolution, starting from the French Revolution, you must come from the inside to start up a revolution. So P2B came from the inside to start up that movement you saw. And it's a one-off thing, you know. It was because APC presented a ticket that was not very attractive to the Christians. PDP presented a ticket that was not very attractive to the South. Because it was supposed to, after Buhari, 8 years, it was supposed to come to the South. But PDP now presented Atiku. Sure. Then, after Buhari is supposed to come to the South, yes, APC presented Ahmed Tinubu, but now had to put another Muslim. So it caused some level of, you know, distrust in the minds of the second majority of the religious faith, which is the Christians. So the Christian and even the artists in the South and some other places that came together and said, no, we cannot, we're supposed to come to the South, and it's supposed to be Christian Muslim ticket. So Obina came to provide that platform for them to express their protest. That's why you saw everybody, people were voting for Obi. Everybody, that's why for the first time, you know, a third party will win presidential election in Cross River State. It was not about Labour, it was about Obi. It was about Obi benefiting from the people's protest. Not even about Obi as a substance. Okay. So I am not sure Obi, I'm not saying Obi does not have capacity. Obi is a fine gentleman to the core, thorough administrator. But I am sure he does not have the substance to tell cross-variants, or the capacity to tell cross-variants who becomes their governor. Even if he has said so, like I'll repeat again, he said it out of innocence and ignorance, and that should be taken for granted.
All right, that's interesting. Okay, so you've heard from Chief Peter Higgins, even though he said that the Labour Party is endorsing the PDP governorship candidate, that is an error. All right, so let's go forward to talk about the Cross River North, you know, situation, because in the last election, the presidential election and the National Assembly election, we saw that Cross River North lost 4 local governments and only won. And a lot of people have seen that, in fact, they've misinterpreted the situation in so many ways. Some said that we are a colossal failure. Some said that the people of the North are not loyal in spite of all the governor has done for them. They also betrayed him and couldn't defend the integrity of the North. Now, have we done something to change that circumstance, or do you think that the same thing is going to play out in the governorship and state assembly elections?
You see, that tells you how democratic Cross River North is in the first place. Okay. And that tells you how much the people has their individual opinions. But, well, I don't want to preempt the outcome of the litigation that APC is preparing in court. So I would not want to say if we're colossal failure, or colossal loss, or traitors until the court decide otherwise, because of the volume of the military, the volume of intimidation that was used by opposition, taking advantage of our innocence, of our brotherhood, taking advantage of our peace-loving kind of nature of government that we have. Because as chief security officers of the state, we are supposed to be the aggressors. But rather, this is the only place and only state in Nigeria that an opposition will be the aggressor and go free.
Okay. All right, so that's exactly what people are saying, that the APC as the ruling party is putting up a disposition as if they are the opposition, while the opposition is being brutal. How would you explain that? Because a lot of people are seeing that as weakness.
Well, I would say that no matter the volume of power you have, if you don't have control, it's weakness. We have a government that has absolute power as a chief secretary of the state, yet has control. That is the strength. But I will tell you clearly that what happened on February 25th will never happen again, with emphasis on never happen again.
So we're going to see a different picture going forward.
Different picture going forward, including the pattern of voting. Okay. Cross River North would deliver 5 local government intact, 100%. But if I want to come home, I will tell you that Yala, that I'm very confident of that I come from. Yala is the salt of Cross River politics. And we'll come back and bring that the taste that makes the soup sweet. We are going to come out with the volume of vote that we are always known to bring. Yala determines the direction in which the governorship or elections of Cross River State goes. And we'll do that by this coming election. So whatever happened in the past was an aberration. And I'm confident that it will never happen again. But I don't want to preempt what the court will say, because it is already in the court of justice.
All right, so I want to get your thoughts also on the invasion of the North, the security invasion. Would you say that was as a result of the ruling party APC not doing their due diligence checks in terms of security, the security of the North? Or would you say that that was a purported planned or maybe a deliberate conspiracy to undermine the governor? How would you describe that invasion of Cross River North?
Well, I will go with the last adjective, to undermining the governor, because the governor is the chief security officer of the state.
Sure.
You know, they took advantage of his peace-loving nature.
Okay.
You know, but I am not confident how that control or how that his peace-loving nature will continue if that happens again in this election. Okay. You know, they came as the aggressors and were trying to tempt us to see if we will react. If we react, it is our own people that will likely be harmed. And don't forget that one of the first principles of a governor is that he's a chief security officer of the state to protect lives and properties. So he will not want to take any action that will endanger the lives and properties of the people. So people could not see it as weakness, but that is a control he has because he has power. Okay? But you see, people could interpret it any way they want. But I'll tell you something. We were not looking at politics as do or die. We're not looking at politics as battle between brothers. We're looking at politics as election between brothers. Okay? Everybody that ran the election of this 25th, we know ourselves. We are close to ourselves. We have one relationship or the other. Why do we need to harm ourselves? But if the opposition thinks that it was proper to instigate violence, I am very confident that the coming election of the 18th, we are not going to say we'll match them violence for violence. We will look for a means to protect ourselves and protect the electorate that intend to vote. So I'm not confident that what happened the other time will happen again. But Beatrice, I would like to add, it is so disappointing that we hear names being bandied around about people that were involved in bringing the military to come and intimidate their own people. And like I understand, people say they are former military officers, retired or serving or whatever. But it's so unfortunate that if you have access to power, you should use that access to promote your people, to put them to develop your people, rather to bring the military to come and intimidate your people. It's a shame. And I can guarantee you that after the elections, the communities where those people will come from will call them to question. They will call them to, I am very confident that they will call those people to question. Because if you have served in the military for about 35 years or you are 60 years and you have resigned, that means you went to the peak of your career. If you went to the peak of your career, what have you done for your people? The only thing you have to show for your people that you have strength by bringing soldiers to come and intimidate them. It's a shame that I am very confident that my people will call those people to question very soon.
All right, that's interesting. Okay, so my last question to you would be on the impunity showcased by some party faithfuls. We hear a lot of situations across where people did anti-party across the entire state. Now, don't you think that the best way forward would be to, suspend or sanction those people to serve as a deterrent to others? This idea of not people showcasing impunity and they get away with it, would that be a plus to APC as a party or even to the government?
Well, when you say impunity, again, I want to seek the direction. But if I understand the direction or the context in which you are saying, is that people you are working in government, you are enjoying government, everything in government you are benefiting, and yet you are doing anti-party. Yeah, is that correct? Okay, it's ethically, is that correct? It's very wrong. Done so that to serve as a deterrent to others. What? Let me tell you something, Beatrice. What pleases God the more is gratitude. That's why God said, I delight in the praises of my people. Not the prayers you pray. Sure. The prayers you pray is for yourself. The fasting you do is for yourself, but the praises you give God is what it takes glory in. What is that? That you are showing gratitude. If somebody does good for you, you don't show gratitude, God will take the grace that he was supposed to give to you and add to the person that has given you that grace. That's why you see some people continue to struggle in one place for very long because of ingratitude. What Ben Ayade had done for a few of those people that you are saying, and not even few, do you know that like 70% of the appointees, if they had worked the way we expected, it would have been a walkover. But most of them worked against the party and in interest of their principal, that is ingratitude. Give them little time and see where they will go. But the point is, particularly, I want to be very particular about Yala. And I hear about that anti-party more in Ukele, where you come from, Beatrice. The major anti-party I heard about was Ukele North particular. I want to be very specific now. You know, and maybe a part of Ugoja. Some people in Ugoja and Ukele, which is very wrong. You know, if you are a beneficiary of government in any level, you should be grateful. But to say because you were supposed to have this from government, you did not have that, now you turn against the government that is still feeding you, it's wrong. And that is what most people are doing. I understand that people in Ukele were even calling town criers to cry not to vote for APC. I just pray it's rumor, or it's just the normal political talks. But if that were true, it's unfortunate. And again, in Ugoja, you see absolute lack of commitment by some of the people that are supposed to be principal actors, holding government positions, non-committal. You know, election day, they are somewhere very far off from their unit. I can tell you that when the collation of Yala local government came, they took it from here to go and do in Ugoja. It became a battle. I was calling people in Ugoja that please, they should prepare to give Boniface Okache some level of protection that is coming with the collation materials there. I did not see one single person.
Nobody came out.
Yet Ugoja has some of the very principal appointments. No one person was there, except Stainless was there. But after an hour or so, I don't know where he went. Maybe he had other engagements. He left. Apart from Stainless, no one person from Ugoja was there. No one person from Ugoja was there. Boniface Okache was there 2 days, held captive. He escaped the next day in the evening and came straight to my house. Yet we have party faithfuls in Ugoja and very strong appointees. So it is wrong. In as much as I don't want to criticize anybody, I'm just saying in general terms, if somebody does good to you, please show appreciation and gratitude so that God will bless you.
All right, so thank you very much. So what is the way forward now as we navigate to the elections of 18 March 2023 of the governorship and state assembly election? What will be your message to all cross-divarians, all electorates across the divide?
The message is simple. It's back to South. It's no senatorial district turn except the South. Vote for equity. Vote for justice. Because even in every place, like you, Beatrice Akpala, you belong to a ward. You have your councillor, sure. The constituency 2. Mm-hmm. Sorry, you are a state house member, sure. Constituency 2. Mm-hmm. Cynthia. Mm-hmm. If Cynthia finishes her tenure now, it's going to another side of Ukele, right? Sure. In your own ward, the councillor that you have, if he finishes, it's go to another section of Ukele, sure. Right? Sure. Even in the traditional institution, if you have a paramount ruler, if anything, by his God that gives life, if at any point God calls the other traditional ruler, the paramount ruler, the next paramount ruler will come from another side of the community, which is just normal zoning that we do. Why? It brings peace. Why? It brings equity. Why? It brings justice. So people should let us live by what will bring those 3 cardinal principles of life so that we can have peace and harmony within ourselves. Or amongst ourselves, rather.
All right, thank you very much. So that has been a very thought-provoking interaction with High Chief Higgins Peters, talking about the permutations in Cross River State as we decide as a state to voting the next governor that will be part of the scheme of things for the next 8 years to pilot the affairs of Cross River State. My name is Beatrice Akpala. All I can say to you is that this is the turn of the South. We are returning power to the South. Senator Prince Bassey Adetotu will be sworn in as governor of Cross River State on the 29th of May. To leave no stone unturned to deliver Senator Prince Bassey Adetotu as the governor of Cross River State. So do the bit you can. This is the time for you to be a part of the solution and not the problem. Together, we can build a very formidable Cross River State. I'll see you some other time. Bye-bye.